I'm going to tell you everything, the only thing that you need to do in order to be pursued by your SP, or really anyone else for that matter. I'm going to tell you what worked for me and always works like a fucking charm. Hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, a conscious life and success coach and licensed mental health therapist. All right, before we jump in, I want to remind you that I do have a free Facebook group open to men and women. I also have a paid Facebook group, which is $30 a month and you can cancel anytime you want. I jump in there like 2-3 times a week and I do Q&As and lives and rants and motivation. And I have email coaching. I also have Manifest Your SP Back and Keep Them for Good online course. So all the details are in the box below. If you like podcasts, I have the Secure Girl podcast. It's so much fun. I just get the best feedback for this podcast. The link is below as well. So let's dive in and talk about how do you get pursued. So here's something fun to do. And I'm going to teach you exactly what I do, have done, always do when somebody wants to give a little bit of cold behavior, because yes, I've manifested that, right? And what did I do to get them from going cold to hot, hot, hot? And it's really, really easy. It has nothing to do with vibrations. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. This is simply, all you have to do is affirm what it is that you desire. So in the past, I have manifested the cold, hot, and cold behavior. And every time my person would go cold, I would just affirm whenever I thought of him throughout the day, he's constantly thinking about me, he's missing me, he wants to reach out to me, he's always reaching out to me. And guess who would reach out? And guess who would keep reaching out and keep asking to see me and continue and start the whole pursuit back again. So believe it or not, it is really that easy. And this is why I am here to debunk all the other nonsense out there where they make us feel like we have to do 100 million things. You literally just focus and reaffirm what it is that you want. And you make sure when you think of this person that your thoughts are always aligned, are always from the end of them pursuing you. That's all you have to do. You have to stick it out and wait for it to happen, but it should happen rather fast. It doesn't have to take months and months. It should happen in days or a couple weeks. That's been my experience every single time. And when I sat here and had all these epiphanies of late and realizing like, wow, it really just is what we think and focus on. And I reverse engineered all the stuff that I've been through with SPs and even my current one, it made sense. I'm like, well, this is when he would come in fast. This is when it would take long because of what I was doing, not affirming, not staying focused on him, et cetera, et cetera. Now, one of the things I always support is changing your concept of self because, I want you to keep your SP when they come back in. And a lot of times everybody's only concerned about what their SP thinks or what they want their SP to do. They forget like, wait a minute, I'm a pretty dope person, right? I'm pretty amazing. And you're not really kind of pumping yourself up and like feeling confident about you. So I would prefer that you did both because you're just going to win extra in the game. And that's what this whole thing is about, is like getting what you want, right? So we also have to look at that, when you reverse engineer your own situation, you'll see like when they come in and they're pursuing you, you like it. You like the way it feels. You're assuming it. You're expecting it, right? And then usually what happens is when you start doubting, when you start your insecurities rear their ugly head, which is why I want you to work on your concept of self so you can help combat some of those insecurities. When you started thinking differently about your person and started feeling nervous or scared or worried, assuming they don't like you, like starting to question, and then you started seeing them pull away and the pullback, usually what happens is then you start chasing. So you start chasing out of insecurity and fear. So you had the insecurity and fear because of what you were thinking. So in order to not maintain that fear and that insecurity when they come back in your life, it's very important that you change your thinking about them and you and the situation. And that anytime when they're back in pursuing you, you start doubting or your insecurities kick back in, you reaffirm your concept of self that is confident, loved, wanted. She always gets, or he always gets what the fuck they want, right? And then you also reaffirm the story of how this person feels about you and what's going on with the two of you and what they're doing, right? So you just keep reaffirming that because that is what has to manifest. So that's really all you have to do. There aren't any games, there aren't any tactics. You don't have to get in a certain energy. You don't have to change your vibration. It's literally just reaffirming the story of the reality you want to experience. So in this new reality, I want to feel loved, valued, good enough, and confident about who I am, right? I want to be in the reality where the people in my life, they show up for me. They treat me with love. They pursue me because I am that amazing that they want me, right? Why wouldn't they want me? And you're not going to believe that at first. So what you have to do is keep repeating it over and over, especially against the 100 million opposing thoughts that you're going to have. So you reprogram your mind so that you hold the new story dominant in your mind, which then has to manifest in your reality. So that is what you want to do. And it's going to help you when your person comes back in because your insecurities are going to kick back up. So now you're like strengthening yourself in a way, if that's even the right word, to be like, no, I got this. Every time you feel nervous, every time you feel scared, every time you feel insecure, you keep saying, no, what is it that I want to experience? See, understanding that I am the operant power in my reality means as long as I hold the vision, as long as I hold the story of what it is that I want to experience, and I keep persisting in that story, no matter what, by law, it has to unfold. I have to have that experience. So this is how you start breaking the patterns. This is how you get what you want. Your SP has to conform. The mailman has to conform. The neighbor has to conform. And this is where you have fun with this stuff and start testing little things. So I had, I moved into this new apartment back in April and like it was so quiet, still is quiet. And there was moments I had this neighbor that kept slamming her fucking door and it was like really annoying. And she would like wake us up and it was just bad. So I was like reacting like out of frustration with her and I caught myself because I'm like, oh, I'm reacting to the 3D. So then every time that fucking door slammed, I just went in my head and I was like, man, my neighbors are so considerate and so quiet. And I reaffirmed that. Now, did I believe that? No, because I had evidence already in my reality that these neighbors were not quiet, right? But I stuck to the story no matter what. Anytime I had an opposing thought of that story, I reaffirm with they are quiet, which means every time she slammed her door, I kept saying, my neighbors are so quiet. My neighbors are so considerate and quiet. I'm so grateful I have these amazing, quiet, considerate neighbors. That's the story I reaffirmed. So what happened? She moved out and so did my upstairs neighbor. In like a matter of weeks. Seriously, like this is what I'm talking about. So if you can find little things in your life, so you build more confidence in everyone as you pushed out, if you can find little things in your life of little things that maybe you've been reaffirming not in your favor, that you're not even like recognizing, like start changing it up, play with it, test it, see what happens. So you build your confidence and do this with your SP, do little things to start, like if you're not in contact with them, obviously, if they're not pursuing you, just keep saying, they're thinking about me all the time. They're going to call me any minute now. They're always calling and asking to see me. They want to be with me all the time. Like just create a simple little quick story and reaffirm that. And you just keep doing that until it manifests. It has to manifest. So that means don't quit in 8 hours when it didn't show up. Don't get mad and frustrated in 2 weeks if it still hasn't manifested. You stick with the fucking story. That's the only way, my loves, you're going to get what you want. So stop cutting yourself off at the knees and let these people pursue you. Why not? Have fun with it. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Test this, and then I want you to drop the comments and let us know when your shit manifests so everybody can get excited like, oh my gosh, it really is this easy, because it really is. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.